Welcome, everyone. This is the Ins Justify the Memes, the show where the lowest of the low, that is the most wretched of wretched, and deplorable to end all deplorables, two heterosexual white Christian males from the American South talk about culture, philosophy, history, health, fitness, and what it means to be a man in the 21st century. I'll be your host, Bill, and today, my co host is on vacation. So I will have Holly Midlife coming on here briefly to co host with me. So, guys, crack open a beer and lend us your ear because the ends always justify the memes. All right, guys. Holly is just a little behind because of work. Gooding, Josh. Gooding. So she will be here shortly. I will pull her in as soon as she is available. But I do have some things that we can talk about in the meantime. And I'm not usually producing the show, guys, so it might take me a minute to get to where I want to go with this, but I want to show you something. All right, and that is this. That is this from Cultural Husbandry. And now I caught this earlier from Tim Pool, but I actually covered this yesterday over on All Minus One. Not this specific thread here, but I covered another YouTuber's Neil McCoy Ward. I covered his presentation, or at least part of it, with my own, and we talked about how there are mortgage-backed securities being held currently by the Federal Reserve. In fact, something like 27%, nearly a third of all mortgages have been bought up by the Federal Reserve for some reason or another. Happy gay month. Well, thanks, Benji. We will get to that when we get to the memes, and the memes will come. Blessed evening of the Orthodox Christian feast day of Ascension of Christ, everyone. Well, amen to that. I basically have Orthodox beliefs, more or less, but I'm not in the Orthodox Church, so I was not aware that today was a feast day. So anyways, let's look at this a little bit more. Switch my mouses here, guys. It says, BlackRock is buying every single family home they can find, paying 20 to 50% above asking price and outbidding normal home buyers. Why are corporations, pensions, funds, and property investment groups buying entire neighborhoods out from under the middle class? Well, so you can make a renter class. De Blasio openly talked about this, did he not, in New York City? So that's what's going on, in my opinion, at least. And this is part of course, the Great Reset. And I actually think that it was really good of Tim Pool to say that specifically because, he doesn't like to get into the conspiracy theory. So, but the reality is that we know that Joe Biden said that he wanted to build back better, right? And just about every world leader did as well. So this is going to happen whether we like it or not, which is why I advocate for having our own communities and breakaway societies. We might have to render unto Caesar taxes and things, but we can live independently without having to be involved with them, as far as I'm concerned. Now, they might come after us, but, there are things to do about that as well. So it says, so who is BlackRock? Only the world's largest asset manager and the leading proponent of the Great Reset. They're looking to redistribute, get this, $120 trillion, the entire wealth of the world's middle class and poor combined several times over. So that's not scary in any way, shape, or form. Sorry, guys, I got to check back and forth between this and that to that is the StreamYards and the other tab I have open because I want to make sure Holly's here as soon as she can be. Let's see. I'm just reading the chat here real quick. Yeah. Finally, Catherine Austin Fitz has an interesting perspective on this housing market, mortgage-backed securities, Federal Reserve, and the housing urban development. There's a publication on a website called the Solari Report. Well, thanks for the tip, man. Always appreciate the chat bringing me information. So hopefully I can cover that on the show in the future. Build back better where we own nothing, and you'll be happy about it. Osis, thanks for showing up, buddy. We didn't celebrate same sex marriage or gender ideology around here. We upheld traditional culture and the teachings of traditional Christianity. Well, that is my goal, partner, with the breakaway societies. So let's continue with this thread a little bit more. And I will start up the memes here in a couple minutes, guys, even if Holly is not here. So it is an example, as an example, excuse me, 124 new home neighborhoods was bought in its entirety in Texas. Average Americans were outbid to a tune of 32 million. Homes sold in an average of 20% above listing. Now the entire neighborhood is made up of the SFRs. What are the SFRs? Single family rentals. So I just got a text from Holly. Hopefully she's listening. So let me text her back. So anyways, these single family renters are, sorry guys, can't talk and text. I'm going to end up saying what I'm texting, which was nothing. It was just, okay, I'm already streaming, which I told her I would. Anyways, these single family rentals are, basically having entire rental communities. And I would speculate that there's no reporting on this, but it's probably true. I would highly speculate that there are lots of foreign investors, namely Chinese investors, doing the same thing. It would not surprise me at all. So, Holly will come. Okay, that's right. Holly is our friend, a friend of the show, Holly Midlife. She has her own channel. In fact, I can bring that up here so you guys can see it. And again, guys, this is exactly why I have someone else produce the show, because if someone else does it, I can keep talking while they get things up and running. It's a lot different. And I've definitely been learning over on All Minus One since I've been doing live streams how different it is. So this is Holly's channel. Nope. Is it not sharing? Okay, it's sharing. I'm looking at the stream. It's behind on the stream. This is Holly's channel where she talks about, things she wants to talk about. Women's happiness is possible. Diversity, crossing the divide. She's covered some Jordan Peterson stuff. Growing out your gray hair naturally. So yeah, Holly just has some interesting stuff, and we made friends through other streams. This is how it goes. This is the way, as they say. Because trying to build an audience naturally these days is quite difficult, given that the YouTubes is not friendly to organic growth. Of course, we are in other places. I'm not sure if they're running right now, but there is an entropy stream. I'm not sure if Tank runs that through something else or if it's, I don't see it up right now. So somehow I'd have to restream that, and he didn't tell me. So it looks like we're just on YouTube today. Let's see if DLive's running. Nope. It's probably supposed to connect that some way or another, but I didn't. So just a YouTube stream today. Hopefully we don't get yeeted. So back to the back to this Twitter thread real quick here. It says, this is a wealth redistribution, and it ain't rich people's wealth that's getting redistributed. It's normal American middle class, salt of the earth wealth heading into the hands of the world's most powerful entities and individuals. The traditional financial vehicle gone forever. Home equity is the main financial element that middle class families use to build wealth, and BlackRock, a Federal Reserve funded financial institution, is buying up all the houses to make sure the young families can't build. So we can keep going through that. And then it says the Federal Reserve funded financial institutes. You guys can check all this on your own. It goes down here into the Great Reset. It's happening. Uh, yeah, 100% it's happening. And it's unfortunate, but they control everything. They control the systems, they control the banks. They are, of course, running centralized banking, centralized monetary systems, and that doesn't allow for people to have freedom or control within themselves so they can do things however they wish. Architect of Fate said, Holly will come. Don't tell Holly what you do. Or what to do. Even as we are working to build communities of patriots, we could still start learning skills to assist in the upcoming economic difficulties, raising chickens, growing gardens, cook at home, and pickle, etc. Right, right, Josh. Josh sent me a picture the other day. Texted me a picture of a very large cucumber, and I haven't met Josh in person, but I understand that Joshua is quite a large gentleman. So I could tell he had a meaty forearm, and the thing was bigger than him. So Holly Midwife, I remember her now. And Justify interview a few weeks back. Yes, yes, yes. Build locally. I'm trying to build a spice, herb, and vegetable garden. Yeah, that's kind of where people probably should start. It teaches you the basics, and depending on the herbs, it can be a little bit easier. You can do it too um, very economically, saving space by simply using an old pallet. That is, if you have the money to buy a pallet, since they're probably worth $20 billion right now. In any case, I am going to run some memes here. Let me make sure this doesn't switch over to the screen share right away. So I don't know. Oh, see what it did? I'm supposed to play the sounder. I don't know if the memes will be as fun all by myself, but I'll try, guys. They're pretty lit tonight. I have 106 memes to get through tonight. 106. We're gonna do it. Also, guys, before I get too far ahead of myself, please like, share, and subscribe. Normally, I would tell you you could go to Entropy and other stuff, but I guess I didn't set that up. That's my fault. But there's a subscribe star. But more than anything, help us grow, guys. I think we're this channel is 8 away from 300, and 300 would be a good number for us. So that would be really awesome if you guys could do that. So in any case, let's play some memes. All right. Well, that's not the right one. I don't want that. All right, guys. So, as you know, as I run memes, I'm probably not going to be talking to you guys in the chat, but I will catch back up as soon as I can. This is why I have a tank, as terrible as he is. It says, I do not advise you what you should believe or not believe, but I do advise you that we all need to learn as much as we can about everything we can, because one thing I have learned in my life is that most of what we have been taught has been a lie. And that was from William Cooper. Bill Cooper had a great series back in the day called Mystery Babylon. If you want to understand some things about the occult and learn about how the world works for reals. He's a big UFO guy for a while, but then he later denounced that and thought it was a psyop. So there you go. That's Bill Cooper. And speaking of the real fake news, this seems to be what's going on. The government had billions to bail out big businesses, trillions to launch endless wars, and trillions to bail out corrupt bankers. And they're going to keep doing this, which is why I kind of wanted to show that whole great reset type thing there. It says, while the people face starvation, homelessness, and disease. Now, I'm no historian, but I think I know how this story ends. And it doesn't end well, folks, on either side. On either side. And once food gets to be about 40% of everyone's average cost, things are going to get bad. And I can tell you too, when people are cut off, they get really, really crazy. In fact, the big thing I was concerned with the coup initially was the people being crazy. And obviously we had some race riots and whatever else, but the crazy stuff I'm talking about is you know, all the shortages that were initially there, and that people start to get unhinged with that. And we've seen a lot of that back and forth now. And of course, with these cyber attacks, it's getting ridiculous. But it's how it goes, isn't it? It's how it goes. And again, people will get crazy. So I hope you have your supplies and you get to a safe place. I do think that we have some time to get prepared, though. This is going to be kind of a bumpy ride for the next 2 or 3 years, I think, and then it's going to be really bad depending on who gets elected again or not again, I should say. So, speaking of this world system, this is West Taiwan over here. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they control a lot of it. And like I said, it would not surprise me with the housing market being bought up by big industry if West Taiwan had something to do with it. So what can we do to help poor people be less poor? Raise tariffs on imports. Blame the 1%. Stop stealing 40% of their paycheck. Yeah. Couldn't ever do anything like that. By the time I am 67, over $600,000 will be paid into Social Security on my behalf. That money would have been worth $1.9 million if I had gotten a 5% return. My annual interest rate would be $95K. That'd be just good to live off of, right? Annually. I mean, unless you're in a big city or something, but even then, it be a lot better than making the $50,000 or $30,000 a year. It says the government promised me $3,075 a month at 67, which is $37K a year. How is that not theft? Yeah, they go into those coffers quite a bit. So what else do I got here? Keep them moving. 2011. Oh, crap. We're the 99%. We're done with you stealing from us, capitalist pig. 2012. Racism is the only problem we face. Don't care about anything else. Focus on racism. Yes, queen. Ugh. And I'm like, not today, commie. None of that CRT in this house. Get out of here. But they are trying to bring it in to everyone's home, right? We all know this. It's all over the place. It is in our schools and in our cartoons, our children's cartoons, folks. The racist and biggest greatest nightmare. Social justice warrior. It's the bias response team. If you've been offended, your feelings must be defended. Go! Freedom of expression is a microaggression. Here comes Angela Freddy. He's always ready to fight fascism with fascism. Starbucks windows don't stand a chance. Ethic enhancer. He's systematic. Racism thunder. Using the powers of screaming and shame. They win every debate by calling your names. They're heroes who think that they're victims. Social Now, guys, I know this isn't a real cartoon, so I know this was a parody that they put out the other year, but I thought it was good. So, how we doing, Holly?
Oh my God, I'm here finally.
Do you get a better mic, or can you get closer to your mic because you got a little echoey there?
Oh, okay. Here, let me
You're
turn
fine.
down. Okay, how's that?
Yeah, you're fine. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, well, I'm late, so I'm not perfect anyways.
You told me you were probably going to be late, so it was a matter of did I want to start late, or did I just want to go ahead and just let you come in and because now next week if you want, if 7:30 is better for you, we can start the show at 7:30.
Yeah, I think it might be, honestly.
Okay.
So you don't have to struggle.
Yeah, that gives me more time to get some memes together, actually.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because like I went to sort through them today. I think I sorted through and organized these for 4 hours. No joke.
What?
I have so many memes. I mean, I got up and took breaks and stuff, but it does take a while to kind of dwindle this down and get it in a to get it where I can weave a narrative, I should say. So, but let's get back to the memes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, guys, and talking about coming to our kids, imagine what our kids think when they see this stuff. It says, when you're 8 years old and you learn that you're responsible for slavery, the Holocaust, crusades, and the colonization of Africa. I mean, come on, there's no way to start off your childhood, your life. But they persist, don't they? The reason Africa and the Middle East are so screwed up is because of colonial powers drew borders and zero considerations in ethnic groups and cultures. That's why there's so much conflict. So mixing multiple ethnic groups and cultures causes conflict? What? No. Because they don't know what they're talking about. And speaking of which, the conservatives don't generally do that good either. That is Conservative Inc., the not just the neocons, but the ones that are, a step removed, like your Charlie Kirks or maybe even your Ben Shapiro's, those kind of people. So you'll see what I mean.
But America is unique. Of all nations in the world, we're the only nation organized based on an idea.
I have loyalty to ideas. And of course, I love the Grand Canyon, I love the Rocky Mountains, and I love Boston, I love Chicago. But if all that disappeared and all I had was ideas, and we were on an island, that's America. That's Israel.
Every other nation you can define by their ethnicity, their geography, their religion, except America. America is born out of an idea.
And that's what people have to realize, that America is just a placeholder for timeless ideas.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, including life, liberty, etc.
Etc.
With the specific place and all this, that's not what it is. Israel will be an exception because there is a holy connection.
But America is unique. Of all nations in the world.
All right, sorry, I got in the chat. No, it's going to loop. So, Kizza said in the chat, he said, "You mean like Zionist, Bill? You could call those Zionists?" Yes, actually, I think that's what we could call them Zionists. They're not America first, folks. But I got a meme about Zionism coming up, Kizza. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. When someone asks me my political views, F the government, both sides.
Yeah. That's my political views, pretty much. They're all bad.
Build back better. Fall 2020, $100 in lumber, or sorry, $1,000 in lumber. May 2021, $1,000 in lumber.
Yeah.
Miss me yet? Oh, hold on here, guys. I got to mess with my volume real quick so I can hear Holly better. Not have it too loud so I don't get feedback through the mic. Senator for 36 years, vice president for 8 years, blames Trump for America's problems.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere out there's a 2-year-old girl whose mother is a stripper, father is a crackhead, and her grandpa is president of the United States. Fact check that.
Is that actually true?
Yeah. Oh, Hunter had a
Right.
He had an illegitimate child with a stripper. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I got a pass too. Nothing like quite like that, but I'm not going to say I have not known a stripper or two in the past, because I did a lot of bad stuff before I was in the faith.
Mm-hmm.
This could be us, but diversity saved us.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, diversity.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, Holly, there are actually there might be more crap, because I forget how, because I have to label these, and as I organize them, I put them in like point or whatever. But there are officially 106 memes. There must be more than that, actually. So we'll get through them. I hate white people, including myself. I hate this country. I want it to burn it all to the ground. Yes, but slower and legally.
Yes, pretty much.
And speaking of burning things to the ground, this was actually a good thing, but it's because Manchin knows he will get kicked out of West Virginia quite quickly. I mean, I always vote no for him, but whenever I get a chance to vote against him, given that he is a senator, it says a Democrat senator says he will not vote for an overhaul of the U.S. election law, virtually guaranteeing the failure of top Biden administration priority. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia also reinstated his opposition to changing the filibuster win for us. I also want to thank Senator Sinema for her bravery. I don't know what that's about, but that's old Scott Presler there, who does really good work. By the way, folks, if you've never heard Scott speak, he's the guy that started cleaning up Baltimore the other year. You know, he's one of our gay Republicans. We have to claim him. Well, I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. So, but you know what I mean? He's one of our gay conservatives. Speaking of gay, from what I can see, Canada has fallen into dystopian medical tyranny. Election suspended indefinitely? Check. 12-year-old kids being vaccinated without parental permission? Check. Churches being raided and priests arrested? Check. Police, military, and doctors being disciplined and court-martialed, sacked, struck off for saying bad things about vaccines. Check. For everything outside of Canada, for everything we outside of Canada are seeing, if you think you live in a free country, then you are a boiled frog. And Holly and I were talking last night for a little bit to set up for the stream, and I got to chat with her husband and stuff some. And you were saying, you guys were talking about some of your issues up there, and you were saying today that you had all kinds of Canadian news. So I think if we can get through the memes, we can get to some of that Canadian news, Holly. Unless you want to share some things real quick right now.
Well, I can just add one thing to this list here. That there was a father that was arrested for misgendering his child. So freedom of speech no longer exists. I mean, there were comedians that were arrested for jokes because their jokes were offensive. Arrested and fined, I think $20,000 for doing an offensive joke in their bit. And that was about I think it was a year or two ago that happened. And now a father's been arrested for misgendering his kid. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's a little hot in here. It's getting a little boily up here.
Here's one thing I think, though. Maybe, we don't know. It hasn't happened yet. But in the course of history, communists, or whatever you want to call it, these authoritarian types, usually devolves into some form of serfdom like communism. Maybe they're just trying to get rid of all the people that support it. Promoting communism, opposing communism, promoting communism just to watch it fall. Becoming a communist dictator to starve out all the communists. I mean, one can only dream. So, to Kizza, Israelis don't want to be American pawns in the Middle East any longer. We've suffered enough.
Wow.
Pawns of the Americans. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around. It's back and forth. It's more has to do with the crown and the UN and other interests like banking. So that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And from Tablet, the Jews of the canine world, pit bulls, have been unfairly stereotyped as genetically dangerous monsters. Sound familiar? I don't know. It was rando. But this is all part of the degeneracy that we see and the hypocrisy and whatever else, much like this. How it started and how it's gone. Tax the rich. $2 million apartment tour. I don't even know who this girl is. I thought I remember seeing her a while back. I mean, she's cute. I could see why guys would watch her, but because they don't have a life. But it's funny how the commies they never have standards, do they?
No, it's funny about this girl is she was always the tax the rich and we hate rich people and down with the 1% and all of that stuff, and that was her big thing. And as soon as she started making money on YouTube or TikTok or whatever she does, she immediately turns around and starts buying all these like super expensive cars, and then she does that mansion tour and all that stuff.
It's like Michael Moore. They're all champagne socialist guys.
Oh yeah.
That there's no such thing as a working class socialist. It doesn't exist.
No.
Working class people are working class people, or that is blue collar people do that stuff because that's what they like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to work. And here's just some more of that. Hail Satan, hee hee, I'm so edgy. Hail, well, that guy I'm not going to say, because that get us kicked right off, probably. Don't you know how insensitive you are being when you joke like that? Do you understand that what Hitler stood for? You're perpetuating toxic ideas to other people, whether you realize it or not. It's what they do, is it not? All the time.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Morality is subjective. I disagree. You're a bad person. I need not remind everybody if everything is subjective, then any statement you make is subjective to interpretation, right? Mm-hmm. And the statement can't be true on its face because of that. So there you go. Anyways, a protest sign I saw from a New York City rally this weekend is a good summation of my feelings. F justice. We want revenge. Revenge.
Uh-huh.
This is a weird mindset, given that, basically you're still here. You could go to another nation. You could go move to another neighborhood. You could do whatever. You could improve your life. What are you asking for vengeance for? Is that slavery thing? Wasn't it like the people of this nation that decided to kill a bunch of people in order so that it would be over with? I mean, I don't know.
Well, it reminds me of when like your kids are really young and something happens to them, like they get into a sibling fight and the one sibling bonks the other sibling on the head. They want revenge. They don't want justice. So if, you punish the child that hit and they go to their room or whatever, that's not good enough because that other kid is going to get him back later. He's going to bonk him on the head or kick him in the shin or something. So that's this mentality that I see. I see that they haven't matured out of that.
Right.
I'm generalizing.
No, but that is how the whole system is. It is to infantilize everybody. That is the point. You can never be a mature adult.
Yeah, and that is the definition of childlike behavior, is the justice isn't good enough. We have to have vengeance. They have to be punished. They have to, I don't know. that one of the 7 deadly sins?
Vengeance, I don't know. I don't really
No.
subscribe to those. Not that those
Okay.
things aren't necessarily, they're biblical principles, but they're not
Mhm.
really outlined in the Bible directly. So they're more of a concoction of, like medieval thought.
Right.
And here we have the dreaded Trump rally in Long Island. It wasn't even a Trump rally. It wasn't even that. It was just a bunch of people with American flags. This lady freaked out about, supposedly.
Wasn't
But it's
she
the same thing.
assaulted by the American flag? Like just the way it looked, she was assaulted by it?
Yes.
Literally?
Which is a statement saying that basically that everything that America stands for, like freedom, liberty, civil rights, the respect of the individual, that's all evil. But this is what all the CRT stuff is, right? But we'll get there. I know I already mentioned it, but we do have some wins going on to some degree. I'm not saying we're winning bigly or anything, but there's always pushback. So, and this is what the left thinks. They're like, farming done by dumb, uneducated, redneck, inbred hillbilly hicks. Farming done by intelligent, well-educated, progressive liberals.
Oh,
yeah,
so beautiful, so brave, beautiful and brave.
Oh, speaking of beautiful and brave, Holly, yoga teacher Jessamine Stanley believes white supremacy has polluted yoga, and it's time to talk about it. Yoga teacher.
Right.
I don't know who would go to her class. That's all I'm going to say. But this is the same big-brainedness that brought about this. Kimbe Walker came to the game dressed in a racist snake flag. Somebody flagrant fool him real quick.
Flagrant foul.
Foul. Thank you, Holly.
What is a flagrant foul?
I believe it's a basketball thing, I guess, like doing it on purpose, right? But like, first off, don't shred on me means leave me the hell alone. That's racist? No, man, I gotta be able to come over. I gotta be able to tell you everything, and I gotta be able to beat you up and take all your money and rape your wife. No, just don't tread on me. That's all. And that's been going around. Somehow that's racist. The world we live in. And speaking of basketball, calling LeBron after his first round of elimination to tell him what he should have done. I think all police should be calling LeBron James right now. And from Vice, for those wondering why some of the pages on Vice.com might not work, we have disabled all archiving services of our web pages. This includes archive.is, thewaybackmachine.org, Megalodon, JP, and other right-wing archive websites. What in the world makes them right-wing? They're a free source to use.
That's what makes them right-wing.
Well, no,
because
you're free when you're a slave. Holly, you didn't know that when under communism?
No. Yeah. I'm still fighting that.
Says this will have an effect on some of the articles. We're taking a stand against racism, bigotry, and Islamophobia alongside with SVD and NPR, and preventing all archiving services which are being used by right-wing activists to discredit us and other reputable news outlets on popular forums and subreddits by having archived articles, blog posts, and opinion pieces by respected industry experts and journalists without giving us a chance to update, remove, or edit them before discrediting us and damaging our reputation as leaders and millennial news source. How about maybe you fact check and edit first and not make news of Twitter tweets? Our articles will continue to inform and spread awareness on xenophobia, racism, sexism, Islamophobia promoted by the current U.S. administration. And we will not accept the violence promoted by Donald J. Trump and his supporters on ethical journalism. Meh.
So
These
that
folks,
last line there, that's really interesting.
yeah.
Like the way I'm reading it here is we're not going to support Trump and his ethical journalists.
On ethical journalism, yeah.
Yeah, and his supporters on ethical journalism. It's
I did not fact check this, by the way, so it could be fake, but this would not surprise me in any sense of the word.
it rings sort of possible, true.
Yeah.
Plausible.
Right. And again, I saw this degeneracy. They're trying to rewrite history in the moment and then call themselves journalists. And it's right-wing supremacy. And well, the left's the ones that want segregation and always care about the racial issue and racializing politics. So they've always done it. It's their tradition, right? And this is the kind of stuff that you get with this kind of, commie stuff. You get really dumb people who are very degenerate. They don't have any morals. My grandma is pregnant. She's only 46. So we were pretty excited at first, but now she's claiming my husband is the father. I don't know what to do. He does spend a lot of time helping at her house. I can't believe he'd plow my granny, though. I mean, she's 46, so we have to wait months for a paternity test. If it's not his, would the baby be my aunt, uncle, or stepchild? All three. In today's world, you could be all three, that is. Obviously, it's going to be an aunt or an uncle. It's also worth noting that my husband is both my brother and my uncle, and my grandma is his grandma too. And I'm also his ex-girlfriend. I'm really not sure what to do. And no, this is not a stupid joke. This is serious, so please refrain from rude responses. And this little thumbnail up here that she's got going on. It's I'm not going to zoom in too much on it, but it don't look like she's wearing much. Maybe she is, but I'm just saying. These are the same kind of people, though.
Now, hold on a second. Hold on. Isn't okay? So I always thought that it was like the right-wing cousin doing people that were. It's like the farmer joke, right? Like the ignorant rednecks are the people that keep it in the family.
Sure, the hillbillies, but what I would say is that white trash knows no bounds. And I've known a lot of white trash, and they're of all kinds of political persuasions, and they're often Democrats because they want the welfare and they want the liberal laws for when they commit crimes and stuff. So, not all the time, but often, in my experience. So
not American. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what would Ricky be from Trailer Park Boys? You think he would be a Republican or a Democrat?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
He acts like a capitalist, but I guarantee you if someone would take care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a lot of the same in the like a lot of the black community. They're actually really conservative in a lot of their actions and beliefs, but they think that they're owed something, and that's where a big disconnect comes from. He says, "Damn it, I left home without spraying my armpits and butthole with Lysol." Old Zuby's got a great take here. Personally, I'm still waiting on the science that proves you can pass on a disease you don't have to somebody who is immune to it. But don't mind me. Yeah. What makes sex not rape? Consent. What makes a job not slavery? Consent. What makes a transaction not robbery? Consent. What makes a mandatory vaccinations not tyranny? Magical fairy dust. Yeah.
Magic.
Magic. Giving free shots for the health of the nation. Why are they giving away free insulin and chemo? I mean, I think you need to buy those things, but still, I'm just saying. I mean, you guys get free insulin and chemo like after people are dead, right? In Canada.
Honestly, the Canadian healthcare system, there are good pockets and there are really bad pockets. And that was one thing that pissed me off about when Crowder went up to Canada to show Americans how bad the Canadian healthcare system is. He went to the crappiest part of Canada.
So he went to Quebec.
He went to Quebec, and he went into small town Quebec to show Americans how awful the healthcare system is in Canada. If he would have gone to Toronto or Montreal even, or Vancouver, or Calgary, Edmonton, anywhere not Quebec, the healthcare system isn't that bad. However, there is wait times for non-essential stuff. So my daughter hurt her back a while ago, and she was on a 6-month wait list for an MRI. Luckily, she had insurance. She was able to get it within a few weeks, and then she's been helped. But she could have paid extra. It was like $2,000 to go pay for it herself. So a 2-tier system. So it's not as bad. It does have its flaws.
I've seen a lot of reporting where it can be pretty bad though, and I know recently, like Lauren Shen, her father was having a hard time with cancer, I believe. I don't know all the details, but I haven't talked to Lauren in a long time, but I am acquainted with her, I should say, and I do know her, and she, like, you could tell she was really struggling through the whole thing, and and they had to come here to the U.S. Unfortunately, Lauren's done a good job of making a career for herself, and she gets paid for speaking engagements and stuff, so she fortunately could do that for her father. I'm assuming she took care of him, and come down here to the U.S. healthcare system. And my thing is, the U.S. healthcare system we've been shifting towards the Canadian system forever, or the English system, whatever. It's the boiling frog. They're doing it this way purposely, and it would be tremendously cheaper if they just allowed free market trading, but they don't. So there's all these regulations, restrictions. Same with the insurances. States don't allow certain insurances to be traded across state line. You can't. Well, Trump supposedly allowed you to see the prices of things now, but they don't just show you the price of things up front. There's just 1,000,001 issues, and then the Medicare and Medicaid, basically like student loans, essentially inflates the whole thing, and you get what we've got in academia because of that. We got stupid people going to college that shouldn't be. We got a giant bloat of bureaucracy and staff. And that's what we get in our medical care for doing the same thing. That's what happens when you subsidize things that should be subsidized.
Number one problem in Canada is the fact that it's so top heavy and so bloated at the top that they'll be plunging millions of dollars into areas, and that money is taken to hire more managers and to build more office space for the managers, right? And not a single bed is added, but it's
right. They'll beautify the place or whatever.
Oh yeah, they'll plant some trees.
Right.
That's pretty.
So this is a throwaway meme, but you guys remember the magnet thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Top scientists hard at work to manufacture the vaccine. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, coughing, itching, bleeding eyes, anal leakage, death, and waking up as a mutant. TGRI, not responsible for changes in DNA. Just want YouTube to know right now that we're joking, right? This is just a joke. They're just memes. Just saying. We're not streaming anywhere else tonight because I think I had to set that up separately, and I did not.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I mean, there's a few things here I didn't check all out yet, so some bells and whistles. Oh, look, there's a meme. Trust the health experts. Health Minister Quebec. Health Minister Alberta. Health Minister Denmark. Health Director Los Angeles. Folks, this is the reality. And there people like Dr. Paul Saladino that were talking about this. A lot of people. I think Sean Baker talked about this. A lot of people out there who are in the health and fitness industry, Rob Wolf, whatever, talking about if we just got healthier people, this wouldn't even be a thing. Vitamin D, that kind of stuff. Exercise, eating better, stop eating all the carbs and sugars. Nothing screams Western medicine quite like offering free Krispy Kreme donuts, free cheeseburgers, ice cream, and free Budweiser as rewards for receiving an experimental shot for disease in a country that saw 80% of its hospitalizations in overweight or obese people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I saw in Washington State, they're handing out pre-rollies.
Yeah, I mentioned that last night and over on the Weekly Narrative because my wife said something to me about it. Yeah. So what do you do then? You get the vax and you drive around to all the dispensaries in your area, just keep collecting, or is it
getting vaccinated?
Is it a one-time thing? Like, how's that work?
Well, somebody was talking about on the radio up here today when I was racing home. They were talking about the carrot or the stick method to get the middle of the people that aren't quite sure, to kind of push them over the edge to get vaccinated. And somebody brought that up. They're like, well, in Washington, they're handing out rollies. So in Canada, we could do something like that.
Yeah, they're doing lotteries now, trying to pay people millions of dollars and whatever else. And that's, it's absurd. It's absurd, the things. I mean, they talked about this last year. They were doing studies on how they were going to convince people to do this. So, and here's more propaganda, of course. Ingredients: grass-fed beef, Impossible Burger, water, soy protein, concentrated coconut oil, sunflower oil, which means it has as much saturated fat with the coconut oil probably as the actual beef, which saturated fat's good for you. But I can tell you what's not: soy protein, sunflower oil, and then all the other things in there. It's hard to say, but I just see more soy and whatever else. Look what they have to do to mimic our fraction of our power. I mean, guys, eat meat. It's pretty simple. And if you're vegan and you're getting sick all the time, it's not because you're doing it wrong. Well, you are doing it wrong because you're a vegan, but it's because you need meat. And stay off the soy. Seriously. Japanese researchers turned male catfish female with soy compounds, and shocking 2021 finding.
Weird.
It's almost like all the soy boys have low testosterone for a reason.
Huh. Maybe it's all the IPAs.
Yes.
That's
Back when I used to watch Owen Benjamin, I tweeted at him about that on his Twitter. Got no acknowledgement about it at all. Didn't give me any credit. And like a couple hours later, he was tweeting about IPAs. And it was like in the same thread. And I'm like, you SOP, you stole my thing. But he's a character one way or another. I know Rebecca did an interview with him a little while back. I need to catch that. I caught like the tail end of that live, I think. So from Oracle Apex, V-Safe, a public app built for millions of people, and the technology behind it, Oracle Cloud and Oracle Apex. And this dude down here, I'm assuming it was an employee, says, got my first vaccination today, and I'm incredibly proud of Oracle and the team that worked tirelessly to create the Run V-Safe for the USA. We are heartbroken to share that Joel Coleman has passed away from the coup on May 25th. He was 54. Yeah.
That makes me really sad.
I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is get sunlight and exercise and eat well.
Yep. And the other thing that possibly we're not supposed to talk about, just wait a month and we'll be able to talk about it.
What's that?
I'm not going to say it. I don't want you to yeet it, man.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Something that Brett Weinstein is talking about.
I haven't watched him in a while because he pissed me off when the coup first came out, because he was talking about motivated reasoning, and his entire lecture on motivated reasoning was literally an example of motivated reasoning. And so he was so obtuse and could not understand that him and his wife were making a motivated argument the entire time instead of just looking at data. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'll watch him on occasion maybe, right? But he went so hard on that forever, and I was just like, nope, can't watch this guy anymore.
Yeah, he gets his claws into things, and he does tend to gnaw at that bone for a long time. But he does have a lot of good things to say, especially when it comes to his lane, the evolutionary biology. And
I didn't know till the other week because some drama with Carlin Borosinko that Heather Penrose was a socialist. I had no idea. I just know that they did those papers. Now I know Peter Boghossian's pretty left, but I don't really follow either one of them. I do watch James Lindsay's stuff quite often because I like James Lindsay. I mean, James Lindsay's even talked about how the wokeness has infiltrated the Southern Baptist Convention, and pretty sure he's an atheist. So, he understands that that's a problem. Okay, here it says, just so I can go BTFO others with it, I misremember the percentage. It's only 366%. And then it says debunked, and then it says articles about miscarriages skyrocketing, and 6 weeks due to the jab. Official data released by the British government shows that the Wuhan coof injections are killing unborn babies at astounding rates, and so forth. There's the studies have been done by the NIH. There was no risk to pregnant women really that were young and healthy, or their children. There's just really no risk, not much risk to children, at least, unless they're obese. I just don't get it. I don't get why people would risk this stuff. But hey, whatever. It's summertime, and this is everyone returning back to the office after working from home for a year. And you probably should wear this kind of gear because, again, the weather's nice. Get the sun, get the air, get some exercise, right? Don't be obese, and you probably won't be at risk.
So this is how you make it look like you have abs in every photo. You put your foot like that, you rotate it, and you go to the gym, you fat shit. This is how you make it look.
And Pride Month is upon us. You knew I had to get here eventually. It only took an hour. But we've not been doing memes for the full hour. So, but yes, Progressive Pride flag gets 2021 redesigned to better represent intersex people. I'm assuming that's that little dot in the middle. What?
Is it the yellow triangle with the dot? Because I remember.
Yeah. No, it's a yellow triangle normally. Now it's a dot in there.
Okay.
And I don't know what the black and brown stuff's all about, but I do know this. It's pretty. I know. I'm saying I don't know why that's part of the LGBT all of a sudden. It's And as far as intersex, I happen to know someone who was born that way, more or less, and she has a YouTube stream, Old Is the Eunuch, and I don't think she associates with any of this stuff. So, but this flag is really suspicious because when you put it together, it looks really, it's really fishy.
That looks bad. Take it down.
Yeah. Well, speaking of looking bad, Pride is a time to celebrate the LGBTQI plus community and continue to push for the world fulfilled with equality, freedom, justice, and inclusivity. Groom with pride. Every man Jack. Yeah. Oh. And I told you guys, I mean, they are coming for the kids. We all know this. I am going to have to show something here in a bit that parental discretion will be advised. I don't have to show it, but I feel that I should. I probably won't. But it says, I helped make this. You are so very welcome. This is Blue's Clues. Taking the time to give the beaver top scars makes me feel like a lot of feelings. Yeah, just crazy stuff. And if you didn't see, Blue's Clues actually had this in their show. Big hooray! Families marching 10 by 10, hurrah! Yep. Holly, you all right?
No, I'm not okay. I have children.
Yeah,
I
and
have a granddaughter.
this is what they do, though. This is what they pass on. I mean, if you guys are letting your kids watch this kind of stuff, I don't know what to I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you have like older kids, fine, whatever. You know, like I let my daughter be pretty independent, but she's almost 17. But little kids, no. And
Yeah.
kids aren't sexual beings. They're not sexual in nature. I know the maps will say otherwise, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, my youngest is 15, and so she's at that age. Oh, she's probably a little bit too old now, but she's at that age. I have a granddaughter. She's 3 months now. So who knows what it's going to be like in 12 years? How
right,
fast has this been moving?
right.
Yeah.
And here's just more examples of the
Mhm.
yeah, and those like I said, if we wanted to get rid of Antifa, if the DOJ wanted to, they would. They would have a long time ago. They don't care. It's part of the grander agenda. I really don't know if I should play this next one because it's. I'll show it to you after the stream, Holly.
Okay.
It's got nothing nude in it, but it's a prosthetic nude, and I just don't. I didn't have the time to try and edit it or anything to like. Yeah,
Yeah, just be safe. Even though on YouTube they play is it a dildo or is it my dick?
I know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I could play. I feel like I could do it, but I'll describe it to you. Essentially, there's a little. There's a guy being like, "I wonder why people are so against, homosexuals and pride." Basically, I just want to love who I love, and then it's like, you know what? I know I'm going to change their mind, and then it shows this video of a pride march, and this tranny pulls up a skirt, and it's got a fake dong that squirts at people, and it looks like there's kids in the crowd. It's utterly disgusting. So, and like I don't do this. It's some of this is funny to some degree, just how crazy it is. But I don't do this, guys, to promote any of this stuff. I'm doing it to hopefully make people aware. Or if worst comes to worst, you all who watch now can go, "Did you see this? Go watch this stream." But yeah, Holly, I'll show that to you after the show. You can comment on it next week.
Yeah, I'll let you know how scarred I am.
This is the official anti-hate bunch of alphabet letters community Twitter: lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, kinder, gender, pedogender, asexual, and intersexual.
What is kindergender?
I'm not sure, but I believe they believe that they're young, or they believe in young ones. But why?
They believe that they're young?
I'm not sure. And I'm kind of glad I'm not sure, because I'm not a part of any of this stuff. So
I'm gonna go have to look that up and see what that means.
yeah. And guys, I mean, I do care about your salvation, but if I don't care if you're gay. I just don't want this kind of stuff promoted to children. It's degenerate. ABC reporters in Tanzania have been told to avoid referring to child sex abusers as pedophiles to avoid marginalizing people with pedophilia. In Tasmania, what did I say? I'm getting tongue-tied. I need more water. Tasmania. That is in Australia. It's a province of Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. It's making tense, Bill.
Yeah.
It's making tense.
One of the original Rugrats moms is openly gay in the show's reboot. I would get off Netflix if I were you guys. I mean, we did. For reasons. It's not like it's that expensive. I get an email like every week from them, though. They're like, "Come back for $9." And this is basically what's going on.
I know, I like these ones. I've seen this one.
You know, I'm something of a homosexual myself. Corporations right now.
Yeah.
Corporations like the Umbrella Group. The Umbrella Corporation. Our business is life itself.
It's life itself.
Do you know this reference, Holly?
I've seen the movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Resident Evil, folks. If you didn't know. And Wayland Corp, building better worlds. So this is a Blade Runner / Aliens reference.
Mhm.
Well, I guess Predator as well now. That's all wrapped up into one. And Skittles joined the crowd, just like the bunch of NPCs that they are.
Jeez. Yeah. I've seen the white ones. Why are those ones gray?
Well, that's I don't know. That's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be white. Like these Skittles, white pride.
That one made me howl, laughing so hard. I had to show that to my husband, and he didn't get it. And I was like, "Did you read the tag?" Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, this got debunked. It was real and it was a mistake, but it was from a year ago. Debunking memes.
But debunked in that it was a mistake, because that looks to me like an honest mistake.
Yeah.
But hilarious.
Right. And if you didn't know, Samsung is this digital girl that all these guys sent for. And of course they had to go with pride, you know. So I hate to tell you guys, but Samantha Samsung is, you know, trans now. Sorry.
Hey, Blair White's hot.
I mean, I don't like that kind of look. That I'm not saying that Blair does not pass very well, but a lot of that is camera and lighting too, I think.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that look. That could be a real, if Blair was a actual woman who made her face up like that, like a lot of models do and stuff today, get all that plastic surgery. I don't like that. I don't like fake boobs. You know, it looks weird and gross to me.
It looks fake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Together with pride. They're great. Oh man. Do they think that this makes anybody buy their product anymore? This makes me not want to buy their product. Not that I buy Kellogg's anyways, but
Yeah.
I did used to like all those cereals more or less. We zoosexuals stand together against hate. Proud of who we are and the embracing sexual diversity and love of all forms and shapes. Happy Pride Month, everyone.
What's a zoosexual? Bill.
I don't think it's bestiality, but I'm pretty sure this is from a bunch of furries, as it says, zoosexual furries and therians. But you know, there are some more based groups out there. Aperture Science announcement voice. Congratulations, homosexuals. Your existence has been deemed profitable in the following regions: North America, Western Europe, and Australia. To celebrate the occasion, we have temporarily recolored all Aperture Science appliances in these regions to your favorite flavor of gay. For further pandering on a wider area, please continue fighting for basic human dignities, and Aperture Science will be right there to celebrate your victory with you afterwards. And of course, you know, no longer a lower receiver, but in honor of Pride Month, we shall be referring to them as bottoms.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, not everyone's based, because apparently in the Middle East, there is no Pride Month.
Really? Weird.
I didn't know this because
I wonder why.
Yeah. It's interesting, because I thought that they were all wonderful people and yeah.
Well, I mean, Canada buys most of their oil from the Middle East, so it must be better.
They must be good, yeah.
Absolutely.
So in Volk Einreich, Ein, was that? Greitonk? I don't even know what I'm saying there. Coke ist es. Okay.
Mm.
I was a businessman doing business. I mean, it really isn't any different. You know, it isn't really any different. That's why.
Real flash there.
So I don't know if you guys heard about the big old hate crime where there were tire marks on the street with the gay pride flag. In general, let's be like, killed by elites for exposing secrets? Nah. Right about how toothpaste is homophobic. And this is honestly one of the most vile things I've ever read. Just admitting they see us like profit margins. Venture capitalists make me sick. Transgenderism was created by capitalism. And this thing about trans tech is budding industry. Trans tech. That's the detachable penis, I think, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, the different contraptions that they need to make everything work.
It doesn't matter who you click with. Happy Pride, Amsterdam.
Okay, on a plane it does. Just gonna chuck that out there.
Yeah, it's actually a great example of how unnatural it is. The perfect message. Yeah. How do you fly when they don't fit? Like, you know, in the military, I'm sure your husband could attest to this, that I don't know how it is in Canada in the military, but I'm sure they teach people pretty simply the same way, that you have a male end and a female end and they go together. Yeah. And speaking of things no longer clicking, by the grace of God, Milo is a former homosexualist now, reformed sodomite.
I've been watching him since he came out. It's been a quite interesting transition.
No, I haven't seen much about this. I've watched a few little things of his, but
yeah,
what's going on with his husband? He's divorced now. What's that going on with that?
Yeah, I think he's just his roommate now, and he did a video where he takes that diamond that he bought. And I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands of dollars this freaking diamond is worth, but he took it out into the ocean and chucked it into the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's all in.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, wealth and degeneracy does not make anyone happy. There is more to life than material things or pleasure.
Yeah, that video was funny with the pit vipers, how he was talking about the company that sells pit vipers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the company's doing now to get away from the people who buy pit vipers, those nasty, nasty white boy summer people.
Oh, yeah, we got some white boy summer stuff coming.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hello, brother. What? You're wearing the symbol of our Lord promised to Noah. I appreciate your faith. It's gay pride. God is dumb. I'll pray for you. That's the answer. And also, by the grace of God, Alex Jones is trying his best to use his full power to protect the last two straight frogs during Pride Month.
I think that's my favorite Alex Jones thing that came true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the freaking frogs gay thing.
Well, I started with a Bill Cooper quote, and I don't like Jones' treatment of Bill Cooper. There's a long history there. I often talk about it, or I shouldn't say often. On occasion will mention it on the show here, so I don't want to get into it now. But basically, I figured out a long time ago, he says a lot of true things, but he's also a hack entertainer, and he's hyperbolic on purpose to get people wound up. That's what he does.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's very entertaining to watch, but
I used to watch him just to laugh. I mean, yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I thought he was hilarious, and I knew that it was just an act. It's just a joke, right? I can take a joke, but then
the frogs gay.
He's turning the freaking frogs gay, and then it turns out that that's actually what was happening. They weren't actually turning gay, but the way the chemicals were affecting,
they were changing their sex. Yes,
they were changing their sex.
just like the catfish that I showed earlier. This
Yeah.
is part of the whole thing with xenoestrogens, though. That's a real thing, guys. It's part of the reason why we are losing test. I would say it's probably the most prevalent reason why men lose testosterone over the age of 40 at about 10% a decade, because of the xenoestrogens in our industrialized environment. It doesn't happen elsewhere in undeveloped worlds or undeveloped nations. And also, it's probably why we have more and more young men who are suffering issues with low testosterone. It's a big phenomenon today.
Well,
So
sperm counts and stuff like that too.
yeah, I would
Like
say
that.
it's the industrialization and certain chemicals, plastics, xenoestrogens, like I said, also a high amount of sugar, high amount of soy, all of those things, too many refined carbohydrates, not enough meat, low fat diets. There's a plethora of things that this is, but for sure, it's not natural. Men should there have been studies done in countries like Peru where young men and 60, 70 and 80-year-old men have basically the same levels of testosterone. So and you have to take my word on that, guys. It's stuff I've read a long time ago. And I read so very much. White Boys Summer, Pride Month. And so it's funny, the whole White Boy Summer thing. I know Sargon made a video about it the other day. I don't know. I think it's kind of gay. We'll get more into it, but certain right-wing agitators have kind of taken it on their own, and I feel like it's going to end up maybe being something like this. Unity at last.
Oh,
It's a joke, Holly. It's a joke.
I know.
I don't think I haven't even seen a skinhead since the 90s, I don't think. So let's say I don't think that's not really a thing anymore. I think they dress like Richard Spencer now, don't they?
Now that you've said that, I don't think I've actually seen a proper Doc Martin wearing skinhead in decades.
Well, Edward Norton made American History X, and all of a sudden it all went away.
Yeah, it was kind of the end of the whole movement.
Yeah. So, and also there's, with the White Boy Summer, there's this whole Sigma male thing. I don't know if you've seen this or heard of this, but yeah.
Whoa. Hey, Beavis. What, butthead? We're Sigma males. Beast. Sigma. Beast. We, don't even need chicks. We're, too Aryan or something. Yeah. We don't need jobs. We break society's rules. Beast. Now you see. Whoa. Hey, Beavis. What, butthead?
And speaking of Sigmas, Sigma female here, always arrest black people. No excuses. Oh, Kamala. I'm sure you heard about her little visit to Guatemala. Oh, Kamala in Guatemala.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was. Guatemala president tells Kamala Harris Trump won and go home.
I like the mind your business one.
Yes.
Kamala, mind your business. Yeah, it's right there.
Yes. Kamala, Trump won. This is so great.
Kamala, go home.
It's amazing. This always brings me back to David Pakman and just the last time I probably ever watched him, and him talking about how the foreign nations are laughing at America. They're laughing at us. It's like, no, dude, they love Trump. They love Trump. You're so disingenuous and so out of touch. And then I go in his chat and it's all lit up, like sucking him off or something. I don't know. It's like, you people are so delusional. But here, let's hear a little speech from Kamala about this issue.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Theories about Wuhan Lab 2020. Racist, xenophobe, fascist, Nazi. Orders investigation into Wuhan Lab.
Mhm.
Well, that might start a nuclear war, according to China, but, we'll see. Yeah. Never ask a woman her age. A man his salary. The Chinese government. What happened in Tiananmen Square on June 4th, 1989?
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
What?
Nothing to see
Nothing.
here.
Nothing.
No.
No, especially, no. Carry
We're going
on.
to have one of those, by the way, folks. I just hope you know that. I can't tell you when, but we'll have our own Tiananmen Square here in the future if our nation continues to go this way.
Hi, everyone.
And speaking of foreign nations that are communistic,
Mm.
we did have a win over there a long time ago. At least in the long run. Vietnam's first McDonald's opens in Ho Chi Minh City. I won. Not really. When we introduced capitalism into China, we allowed them to become the power they are today.
Mhm.
So, we should have let their government suffer and crumble and then pick them up and their people up. And we should have been helping out Hong Kong, in my opinion, as well. People out there waving flags in America's honor when we have a nation that's closer to China than they realize.
Mhm.
So, speaking of bad Chinese products, developing Dr. Anthony Fauci's forthcoming book, Expect the Unexpected, has been removed for pre-order for all major online book sales. Yeah. But you know what? People were talking about this and how bad it was that, Fauci couldn't merchandise himself since he's, been such a fantastic character in this whole ordeal. And someone kindly over on Matt Christensen's Discord showed me, or all the people there, the numerous items you could actually buy of Dr. Fauci. Again, speaking of cheap Chinese products.
Mhm.
So we have Fauci socks, Super Fauci, and Fauci we trust, Saint Fauci, the Great, celebrity prayer candles, Dr. Fauci.
Oh.
I mean, he is Italian, so he probably is Catholic.
Huh?
We got Fauci bubbleheads. Got my Fauci ouchie. You can wear your mask after your vax.
Mhm.
Show everyone who you serve. And then Dr. Fauci fan club socks. And even this. All I have to say is, I told you so. Told you so. But Fauci don't want to give up that power yet.
Yep.
You saw the master of the precious. He stole it from us. Not listening. Not listening. Don't take it to him. Precious. You saw them.
And in case you've never seen, this is what a lion dog face pony soldier looks like. I know no one knew what that was. Now we know.
Mhm.
And so I heard there were some emails about, I don't know if you heard about this, Holly.
Oh, yeah.
Exposing Fauci, this email thing. But we've been through this, right? Hillary's emails, nah. Hunter's emails, nah. Fauci's emails, nah.
So apparently, if you're on the right side, you can send whatever you want in the emails, and when they get leaked, it's
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Of course, old Hillary had to have her 2 cents in there. Should have deleted them she-mails. And I heard Dr. Fauci now recommends face mask over your eyes so you can't read his leaked emails.
Yeah.
The amount of people not believing my BS is too damn high. And speaking of that, here's one of those emails. Couple of quick questions. Masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected rather than protecting uninfected people from acquiring an infection. The typical mask you buy at the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out viruses. which is small enough to pass through the material, yada, yada, yada.
Droplets.
Yes, droplets.
Droplets.
Literally, why couldn't you just use a handkerchief? I mean, I never understood this. If, like, to be respectful, like people used to back in the old days and didn't sneeze on people, or I sneeze into my, into my elbow. I just don't get the thing. You know, the thing. Did you order the gain of function research? What difference at this point does it make? Yeah. It parallels it so well. If you don't remember, that's what Hillary said about her emails, guys. Yeah.
Yep.
Remember in 2017 when you said that Trump would face a surprise disease outbreak, and the next year Trump activated the presidential emergency alert as if to signal to Americans that he was on you and in your BS, and now the world is connecting the dots and it's all blowing up in your stupid face. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I wish I had a better Chris Farley, but you know, I just don't. And guys, just remember, trust the science. Is really trust the state. And speaking of the, go ahead, Holly. Go ahead.
It's trust the science, but not that science, or not that science.
Yes.
But this science.
Yes. And of course, I don't know if you guys know about the whole H3 and Crowder thing. I don't really care to cover it, but just saying that was exactly what the H3 guy was actually saying. He was saying, trust the state. What good is a government for if you can't trust it? Yeah. Dummy. You can't trust it. That's why it's not a good government.
Well, he basically said that's why we have a government to tell us what to do.
Yes. Whose wife is Israeli, by the way.
Yes.
Don't their people have some sort of problem with something that happened in the past about the government and trust?
No, my dad's Israeli.
Well, there you go.
I know nothing.
Does your dad trust the government implicitly?
I cannot say.
Okay. Well, he's Israeli. We don't want anyone to, get taken out. I'm just messing around. So, remember this? AOC's abuelas? Please help me. My home is collapsing. I can't pay rent. AOC. So sorry, Trump didn't help you. Yeah. And of course, Matt Walsh offered to give her grandmother's abuela a bunch of money. And that wasn't, nope, can't do that. You dirty Republicans trying to trap me into you taking your money.
Yeah, you don't want that dirty Republican money.
Right.
That alt-right cash.
Well, speaking of dirty Republicans, they're getting dirty. I like it. Now this is the official website for the Florida Dems right now. It appears they did not renew their URL registration and the Republican Party bought it. If you want to know how incompetent Florida Dems are, this is it. This is just awesome.
Wow.
This is awesome. The Republican Party might actually become a viable political party in the future if they don't get gulagged soon. Ron DeSantis forces cruise ships to take unvaccinated passengers. It's not like they're doing something harmful, like ordering a gay wedding cake. DeSantis bans transgender competing women's sports on first day of Pride Month. 'Cause F them. That's why. I told you, man. Maybe we're not winning bigly, but there's some wins here.
Yeah.
Twitter suspends former Treasury official after he compared Brian Seltzer to Gimp from Pulp Fiction. I mean,
accurate?
Yeah. Also, best thing about Republican women, no penises. Not really, though. Caitlin has something to say about that. Can't run that meme anymore, guys. Oh, too bad too, because all these gun chicks are hot. You never see an obese Republican gun chick. They're all these very lovely ladies. Here's another one, guys. Man wins $390,000 in transgender discrimination case, or sorry, in gender, not transgender. I've said that so much today, I'm confused. In gender discrimination case because a woman got the promotion he was more qualified for.
Huh. Them's the rules.
Yes, they are. And from the Babylon Bee, I should have cut this, but I didn't, or crop it. But Republicans propose vaccination by mail program. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yep, 100%.
And AR-15s by mail program. I am all for it. Let's go, Republicans. Let's get based. Let's get out there. Let's get doing something. We are your ancestors oppressed. Were your ancestors oppressed? Probably entitling you to reparations. Take the quiz.
Take the quiz.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
And, I know that the left likes to say that white people don't like spicy food, but they're just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When blacks say white people don't season their food, and then you hit them with 11 herbs and spices for the win, Colonel Sanders comes in.
Sexy Colonel Sanders.
Yes, with a flying elbow.
Mm.
And this is what California would look like if all the icebergs melted. Me. Guys, start pitching in. Do your part. Get to it. Got to get things back to normal. Get to it like you're at an Applebee's with 4 Coolers Light, and the Eye of the Tiger starts to play.
I love that meme.
It's the Eye of the Tiger. You better get it, guys. You better get it. The man alleged to have slapped French President Macron in the face subscribes to several far-right YouTube channels. I don't consider myself far-right, but I'll tell you what, buddy. Come over to All Minus One and the Ends Justify the Memes. I could use the subscribers, guys. And rounding them out here, Epic Games has expressed their support for Black Lives Matter, while Value has remained silent, therefore choosing the side of white supremacy. Which game platform do you now support?
White supremacy. 92%.
Yes. So, Carlin Borisenko, you've got to stop saying that critical race theory is a war on white people, guys. So she's going to make this argument, and I kind of agree with her. It is a racial argument that they're making. But the reason why they're making this racial argument is because they know it's emotional, and also basically it's been in certain spheres of Black communist, Black Panther stuff for a long time, right? Because it's not. Critical race theory is a war on our entire culture and society and way of life. It victimizes the people they call oppressed just as much as it victimizes the people it calls oppressors. And then it says critical race theory is a war on white people. But the generals fighting against it tell their troops that we're not here defunding the white people. Yet there's no mutiny because the troops and generals are all stripped of their whatever it says, it goes on to say. But it's both. It is actually they have to destroy Western culture because Western culture is not communistic. It's based on merit and value. And this is our Western culture, and in the Fed. So that started getting the actual Greek culture. I just wanted to show that is where our culture comes out of, guys. And it may not be perfect, but that is what they're trying to destroy. So that is it. That is the Memecast news. All right. So I'm going to look at that file real quick because I want to see There's 132 files in that file. So we just went through 132 memes in an hour and a half.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Dude, that's the quality programming that you find here over on the Ins Justify the Memes.
And the flow is delicious.
It's I'm not saying I always do the best at it, but it's something I actually do put effort into. Try to get it going. So I can look at chat now. Looks like we got people arguing with me in the chat. I don't know. Someone said, no, Bill. He threw away his 50K ring, 150K ring, Kizza says. I guess he's talking about Milo.
Yeah, the $150,000 diamond.
Kizza says your culture comes from my island. I agree, Kizza. Your culture goes way back to the Greeks, though, man. There's some other stuff there, of course, but that culture is where we got the Roman culture, and the Roman culture is what we all live in, frankly. So I don't know. So Holly, you said you had some stuff about the Canadian news up there in Canada, and I wanted to know what that was all about.
We don't say a boot.
Huh?
I said, I don't say a boot, do
You
I?
might not, but there are Canadians that do.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
A is the one that's really weird is when people have no accent at all. They're they're Canadians, and I talk to them, and out of nowhere, it's just like A, and I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from?
I do say A a lot.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I do catch myself saying, especially when I'm talking to Americans. But the boot thing, about.
But you do have a little of that, at least just North, like Midwest American accent that kind of Canada shares. Yeah. So I can hear that a little bit in you.
Anytime I've been in the States, like especially when I was in the South, people would ask me if I was from the Dakotas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, y'all from the Dakotas? Like, no, I'm from Canada.
Yeah, that goes on up there too.
Oh, I've been to Toronto. I'm like, it's not Canada.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Canada, you know that everybody who's not from Toronto hates Toronto.
Toronto's just too sprawled out, and I don't know, it's a big multicultural center. It's I haven't been to any of the more western cities, but I've been to Toronto and Montreal, and I like Montreal, although I know they have horrible politics. Montreal's kind of a, it's a pretty city. It's a fun city, and and as I tell everybody, if you're a single man and you like kind of swarthy women, that's a place to go, because they have a lot of pretty girls there.
Yeah, the French girls are very pretty.
Yeah. Well, they're like they got to be like from the French Riviera or something. How do they get? Because not all women that are French are that Mediterranean look. Oh, that's kind of what they got going on.
Kizza just said Toronto is the London of Canada. Yes. Yeah. Even though we do have a London in Canada, Toronto is definitely the London of Canada. We have a London, Ontario.
Someone, Dahari said next week Bill will have a cooking show. I actually have a channel for that. I haven't started.
Can we do it? Because I'm going to be here next week. Can we do a cooking show?
How are we going to? What does that even mean? What am I going to stream from my kitchen?
We can cook together and you can show memes.
Holly just got all excited.
I totally did. No, we don't have to do that.
You saw. I showed people the crazy deviled eggs I made the other day.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to throw some of those out. They didn't get all eaten, and I don't like. I get the crab ones especially. They were in the fridge for like 4 days, and I was like,
Yeah, I think that was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm brave. I'll eat a deviled egg when it's a little slimy, but
yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Just saying.
All right, so Holly, tell us about some Canadian news. I'm gonna try and find a picture here.
Well, I want to show off my banner that I put up back here because of C10. I'm going to have to make sure that all of my stuff that I put out online is 35% Canadian. So got some little Canada flags there. If you didn't notice when I first
35. What? C10, what is this?
So Bill C10 is a legislation that is, I guess I can go back, Canadian broadcasting. When we watch Canadian TV, we do watch American channels, like we do get Fox News and CNN and all that stuff. But 35% of the volume that is being broadcast on that channel has to be Canadian content. So a lot of the times I'll be watching like the news from Seattle because I'm in Western Canada, and the commercials, I'll get a couple American commercials. Usually it's drugs or car loans. But then it cuts weird, and then it plays a whole bunch of Canadian commercials. So what Bill C10 does is it's making it so online broadcasters have to have Canadian content. And they're making it so online, like YouTube, Netflix, all that stuff, has to adjust their algorithm for when they're in, like broadcasting in Canada. The algorithm has to be adjusted so that it is Canadian approved content that Canadians will see. So when I go onto my For You page or my main page on YouTube, Canadian content is going to be suggested. And you know it's not going to be Canadian content providers, right? Like just normal people like us that are just chucking stuff out there. It's going to be the CBC, or it's going to be things that the Canadian government approves for us to see, which we already see on television. So
kind of like that BBC system where they get to decide. So that's so weird that they actually force YouTube to manipulate the algorithm for Canadian broadcasts. Like, how do you even do that? How do they even know that someone's Canadian if they're making a YouTube channel?
Well, I guess if you have a VPN, they don't know.
I bet what they're doing is, or what they will do is just put in Canadian news or something like that, like bigger companies they know for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get a lot of shoe on head. Does she pop up in your feed a lot?
No, actually I don't. But there's a bunch of Canadian kind of more conservative content that I do watch, like the Rick guy that you showed me the other day. I've seen a bunch of his commentary and all that stuff. I can't say his name.
What? Quick Dick McDick?
Yes. I can't say that.
Why can't you say that?
I can't say it as fast and as nice as you can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I get stumbly over my words.
Well, I'm very stumbly over my words. You should know that. Every time I stream, I'm, stuttering or trying to figure out how to pronounce a word that I usually already know how to pronounce, but my brain doesn't, work properly. So.
True. I just wanted to hear you say it again. But anyway, they're gonna start pushing approved Canadian content on providers, right? Like, when you have Netflix, they have it as your country. So there's a lot of stuff in Canada that's mostly Canadian content. They're pushing that out more. What they're saying is it's so they can tax the providers, which is interesting because June the 1st, I now pay GST on my Netflix account, which is something that I never paid before. I got the nice little email saying, hey, because you're Canadian, you have to pay an extra 5%. Sorry.
Kahari said, do they realize we're on the WWW?
Well, my thing is like, well, I guess it's time to get a VPN and say that I live in, I don't know, West Virginia, right?
I mean, I always use a VPN. I'm not now, but I usually run through Opera. Although I do run with OBS, I do stream through YouTube, or sorry, not through YouTube, through Chrome, just because I think it seems to run smooth. And but I do use my Opera a lot, and I really like their thing. In fact, I can close them out. I can close out the whole page in the browser, and it keeps all my tabs up. Where, if you do that with Chrome, your tabs are gone.
Yeah, it loses everything.
Unless there's some setting I don't know about that you can click on.
Yeah, so that's number one. So that's going through now. So I am now paying taxes, Canadian taxes, on my streaming. So my Amazon Prime, my Disney Plus, don't judge, and my Netflix. Right. And there is stuff on there that I do enjoy. And I mean, we got Disney Plus to watch Mandalorian. And I do have a 15-year-old daughter who loves Disney.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I look, you decide what you want to do with your money.
yeah,
I'm just saying,
yeah,
your kids are a bit older though too.
yeah.
I got rid of Netflix. I forget why. We got rid of it just to save a couple bucks. We weren't really using it.
Mhm.
And I wanted to get rid of it anyways. And then my wife ended up getting like her friend's password or something, so she'll watch it sometimes but through her friend, you know.
Not supposed to say that out
Oh
loud.
yeah, I know. I get people my HBO Max, so there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and the other breaking news that was really interesting. If anybody was listening last night on Weekly Narrative when Jeremy was talking about how they're going to start moving the goals for vaccinations, and here in Alberta, we're in stage 2 of the unlocking the lockdown, whatever is going through. So we have now opened up restaurants. You can actually go eat in a restaurant now, which we haven't been able to for God knows how long. Retail is going back up to 25% of fire capacity. You're allowed to have unlimited outdoor gatherings now, but masked and socially distanced. So you have to be a hockey stick apart. And so that stuff is all good. And they're pushing to have a full opening by the end of June. So June the 21st is when stage 3 of the unlocking happens. And that's when everything is going to open up completely and Alberta is going to be completely open. The caveat to that is we have to have a 70-20, which was recommended by whatever health organization, the 70 first shot, 20 second shot. And as of today, we've moved up to, I think it's like 68% first shot, and we are almost at 20% second shots. Well, this morning I'm driving to work, and all of a sudden, the first shot's now at 75%. And nobody said anything about it. The interviewer was talking to the interviewee saying, oh, wasn't that 70%? He's like, no, 75% is what the CDC and the global health, world health, blah, 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 has been saying all this time. And we have to make sure that 25%, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute. It was 70-20. I remember 70-20. So Jeremy said it last night and he made it happen today for me. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, and I know they had some technical difficulties last night. It was the first time I didn't watch them. I think I know he was on a strike, and then he had some bad weather or something a few weeks back, and whatever else.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. I was thinking about asking him if they wanted to come on the show next week, since you'll be co-hosting with me.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like that, Holly, because I could just text Jeremy right now, and I'm sure he'd be fine to come on.
That would be fun. I love them so much.
Well, I do too. I think they're definitely my speed. I like their style, and Jeremy's really.
I want to give him shit for slowing down my lockdown or unlockdown, whatever they're calling it now.
Well, I'll see if I can make that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's been like I had an agreement with them early on. Well, the first time we streamed, I was like, I really enjoyed that and love you guys stream. I said, you guys want to come on once a month? So we were doing that, but then Jeremy was moving, and I know Delaney moved, and I wanted to give him time to settle in, and then the strike stuff, and I've been busy, and whatever. So and also I don't want to keep having the same people over and over again. Not that I don't want to have them on, but we had Wes Y11 on, and I just saw he was in our chat earlier. So thanks for stopping by, Wes. I want to get a good group of people on. We'd like to have Don on again, but he's dealing with some health issues right now. So, and we'll have Joshua Ham on here in the future because he's a inspirational speaker, and he does a lot in the local level to get to get things fixed in our government. So,
Hmm.
so those are some people I'm thinking of getting on. It'd be nice to be able to get a few bigger YouTubers, but no biggie. I'll keep putting along.
Just keep asking. Just keep putting it out there.
I've contacted the secretary of ACOD like 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah.
Styx told me that it was nearly impossible with his schedule in Amsterdam, which I don't think so, but he hasn't been streaming with Ramsey Paul. So, because they were doing that for a while, right? And then I'm trying to think who else. I mean, we had Aiden Paladin on. I wouldn't call her huge, but she's got a couple hundred subs. It's pretty big.
Well, and I got to thank you for that, because I had never heard of her before. She was on your channel, and who else was she on? But I found her channel, and I've been binge watching her stuff. It's so well put together and
Yeah.
so well researched.
Yeah. She's a very intelligent woman. Yiz had her on and was supposed to have her on. And I don't know, like impromptu pulled into the stream. I don't even remember what happened.
Yeah.
And because Aiden had her timing wrong. And with that, you know, I talked to her and she said, "Oh yeah, just message me." So Yiz is really good though. I don't know what she does, but she knows how to get people on. So she's pretty good at it. I'd love to get Short Fat Utaku on sometime.
Oh, I love him too.
Yeah, Dev's a fellow Canadian.
Yeah,
so,
he sure is.
Yeah. So and it's not like I want these people on because I agree 100% with all their stuff, but I think they have good perspectives, and they're people fighting the good fight, because we have to realize, guys, we have to unify with people we don't necessarily agree with 100%, because the left, they don't care. They don't care. So people that are fighting against the left, anyone who's fighting and openly talking about the left, we need to unite with, because otherwise they'll just keep tearing us apart. We'll tear each other apart, and they'll win. And they're winning, guys. They've been winning for over 100 years all over the globe, and it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to mention too. Jeremy was asking about the COVID hotels that we have here in Kanatiskistan, or whatever we're calling it now, the gulags, and the gulags. Yeah, it's a Hilton, whatever. But those are still going on. If you leave and you fly back, you have to stay in a COVID hotel, a government-approved COVID hotel, for 3 nights on your dime. Then after that, you have to go and quarantine at home for 7 days. Then you have to produce the negative test. So this is if you fly into Canada. Now, they're saying that, oh yeah, no, it's perfectly safe if you're fully vaccinated with the Health Canada, approved vaccine. You can forego all of that and just go back into your life. You have to have proof of the vaccine, and then when you land, you have to have proof of a negative COVID test. So you can bypass that. But they're not starting that until mid-July. Why are they not starting that right now? So that's the big question. But on top of that, if you drive into Canada, you don't have to hotel and you don't have to quarantine. So there's a lot of people that are coming back into Canada that are landing in like Bellingham or wherever. They're renting a car and they're driving across.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, sometimes that's cheaper anyways. I've done that to go to Montreal. I've flown into Burlington, Vermont, and then drive over the border.
Yeah.
It's so funny, though, too, because when you go into Canada, like the border guards there, it's been a long time since I've been up there, but probably 6 years now. But the border guards are so nice and whatever generally. And then you come back into the U.S. I think the last time I went, I got my car searched.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm in a rental car. There's like nothing in my car. I have like a bag full of like clothing because I did a week-long seminar, martial arts like seminar thing. I got that stuff, and I might have a few like fake weapons or something. I don't even remember. But he's like, "What's in your car?" And da da da. I'm like, "Yeah." And I have a passport, so I would assume that I had my passport then, but he was just acting sketchy. And I'm like, dude, it's Canada. I'm obviously American. I have a driver's license and a passport. Like, what do you even care about the drug thing? We're in Vermont. So like, I don't know. What is this about?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, there was a Vice video that popped up in my memories of a bunch of car guys with their supercars ripping up and down the streets and stuff like that. And they were, I can't remember where they were from, but they were pulled over by an OPP, Ontario Provincial Police. And the OPP just wanted to like make sure that they were driving safe and just, introduce himself to them and saying, hey, we've had a few reports that you guys are blocking traffic, and just was super nice. And then they gave the cop a ride in the car. They let him drive it. Like they were like, hey, you want to go for a ride? And he hopped in this Lamborghini and took this Lamborghini for a ride.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
I love that video.
Yeah,
It's so nice.
Yeah, because that guy drives around all over the place, and he's got nice cops sometimes. But yeah, he's driving these really exotic cars.
Yeah.
And, but I still can't get over the OPP. That's a song. You
know
OPP?
me. Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah, you know me.
OPP.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yes, I am.
It's about the bottom of the hour here,
Mm-hmm.
Holly. You can go on a little bit more if there's some other Canadian news stuff you want to talk about, but otherwise, we probably should just close out the show if that's good for you.
Yeah. That there was just one last thing in my province talking about lockdown stage 3, because they're calling it lockdown stage 3, but to me that means that we're escalating.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, no, okay, it's unlockdown stage 3.
I don't understand the need for lockdowns in Canada though, because it's so vast and sparse, right? Like if you're going to lock down the city, I kind of get that. Not that I don't think that's right or anything. I'm just saying I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But what were you telling me last night? The majority of the people where the population lives?
Yeah, the majority of the population lives within, I think it's 30 kilometers of the border.
Right.
Right. The rest of the country is so sparsely populated. And when you look at a province like Saskatchewan, it's just a big rectangle.
Right.
And you have like up to the north here in this rectangle, and then down here, and then there's the states. Everybody lives here. And
but you still only have
the top of Saskatchewan is farms and deer, essentially.
Right. And how big is the population in Canada? The total population?
Total population is 37 million.
Yeah. So not that populated for all the land mass you guys have.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of land up here. But anyway, the Alberta is going to be unlocked. So we are going to be completely open. There's going to be no mask mandates. Like once we reach that, what used to be 70-20, which now is 75-25, apparently, I don't know. But once we reach that magic number, we're going to unlock and be free. No more mask mandates, no more lockdowns, no more health things, no more hand sanitizer squirters everywhere.
Sure.
They promised me. But then, so that's what the provincial government is saying. So that's wonderful. Yay, we're all getting our shots. Woo, right? So we're all working towards this goal as a population. But then the mayors of the 2 major cities are saying, no, we are going to keep the mandates. So we are going to keep the mask mandates, and we are going to keep the caps on capacity. We're going to keep the hand sanitizing, social distancing, indoor gatherings, all that stuff. We're going to keep that in the cities. We don't care what the provincial government is doing. So wish me luck.
Good luck.
So yeah, so that's my little stories of from the frog.
Did you want to stream Sunday, Holly? Do you have time to do that Sunday?
Sunday, yeah. I'm not doing anything Sunday. Oh wait, hold on. What time?
Well, we could figure out any time. The time that we have is a compromise between Tank and I.
Okay.
So we were doing 3 p.m. Eastern, which I guess would be what, 1 p.m. for you,
Yeah, because we're 2 hours.
but I could stream at like 4 or something.
Because we're actually going out to the woods this weekend.
Well, when you coming back is the question then. So you could stream in the evenings, what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
probably the evening.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do that, and I
No.
kind of I mean, I'd be free most likely, but I know we usually meet with my parents for a little bit, for an hour or two, do a Bible study and have dinner, and then I do my I try to keep the weekends very relaxing for me, so I have certain routines that I do,
Yeah.
but yeah, whereas the weeks like work. And believe it or not, guys, I know, I'm doing the YouTube stuff, whatever, but I'm actually getting at it to do the YouTube stuff. It's not like there's not effort in setting it up or anything like that. It is a lot easier live streaming for me, but yeah. But yeah, I guess what we can talk about it after the show, because I'm getting kind of hungry. I didn't eat enough.
I ran straight. Well, I'm sure you guys know the story why I was late. Bill, did you say anything about that?
Oh, I don't think I addressed it specifically. I just said you were at work running a little late. That's up to you if you want to get the detail.
Yeah, no, anyway, so I drive a school bus for a living. So things were running behind. And I parked my bus and I texted Bill and I raced home. I ran inside. I had to take a quick potty break and then I ran straight here. So I haven't had anything to drink or anything to eat until this point.
Well, the reason why I'm not drinking tonight, guys, I usually have a beer or two on the stream, sometimes 3. It's because I drank last night, and that was because the night before I got day before I got 3 hours of sleep, and I was like, all right, well, if I drink, I'll go to sleep. That's for sure, because I can't do another day of 3 hours of sleep. That's just death, and I'll start to feel really sick. So because I did drink, I didn't feel the best. I didn't feel like eating. So I just ate a little bit of ramen earlier.
Yeah.
And that's all I've had. I'm ready to eat now. I'm hungry. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But we appreciate you guys showing up and giving us those likes, all that good stuff, staying with us and being interactive in the chat. Sorry that I couldn't be as interactive. I know Tank handles the chat a lot while I'm running beams. So Holly, though, will be with us again on Wednesday for sure. I guess you guys will figure out if we have a Sunday stream. I don't know. I would assume we're just not going to do it this weekend.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh, and I got my new shirt. You see my new shirt?
Yeah, that's part of that 30%. So YouTube, we are a Canadian show now because of Holly. So up rank my content in that algorithm.
Yep. Up rank it, eh?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys. So once again, appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, Holly, again for being here. It's okay that you were late. I think next week, 7:30.
I think that'll work better.
All right, guys. So you heard it from my mouth and her mouth, 7:30 next week. So we'll start a half hour late, 7:30 Eastern. That is the Ends Justify the Memes. You can find me also over on All Minus One. That's my other channel. You might have to type in the word channel after it if you guys don't follow me there. Holly's link is in the description. I gave you the due service of actually pulling it up and showing it on screen earlier. So it is Holly Midlife and not Late Like a Woman. That's not her YouTube channel. That'd be a great channel, though. That'd be a good name.
Maybe I'll change the name. I don't know if it works really well. But yeah, thanks for giving me the plug there. I mean, my stuff might not appeal to everybody that watches Bill's channel. But what I'm trying to do out there is just to put that mature woman's spin on everything, that you don't have to be a feminist to be happy. And a lot of the things that I learned that I was doing to myself with a feminist background was actually destroying me as a woman. And now that I've moved back into my femininity, that I am a much happier person. So
Right.
Yeah,
and this is something, right. We run memes, but this is something I like, would like to talk more with you about, because We'll talk. Maybe we can do something Sunday evening if it doesn't rush you and it's kind of chill and laid back. I mean, we can just talk about this between the two of us because I think that there's a lack of female leadership as well as masculine leadership. But I think it's males that are supposed to lead first, and a lot of our problems with that masculine leadership is, look, guys, there's no leadership without that Jocko Willink thing of extreme ownership. It's the bottom line, and you have to own it. And it's men's fault that we're in this place. You all can blame women, but you allowed the women to do it.
Well,
and
that's my thing. It's like, yeah, the society started falling apart when the vote was given to women. But who gave the vote to women? And 96% of women didn't want it. So, boys.
Right. And when we talked with Michael Witkoff the other week, this was exactly his point, because I want to talk about Christian relationships. And he was saying it goes back to the Garden of Eden, and the female led. Eve gave Adam the fruit, and he accepted that leadership, and then he lost his birthright, and the earth was cursed. So stop following women, guys, and stop chasing after them. Stop simping. Stop doing all that stuff. But you go do your own thing if you want to do that. But I'm telling you, your life is going to suck if you do it, and it's not helping our society get any better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's nothing sexier than a strong man, let me tell you.
Yeah, I say it often. It's like, it always surprises me, the little guy that I am, how often girls would tell me how manly I was. And it was just like, it seems weird, but because I think, big, giant, burly guy, and that's not how women perceive it. It's about the energy and attitude you put off.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah. Well, all right. Well, we'll leave it there. We went 8 minutes over, but not a big deal. I got some stuff I got to pack. I'm going to be, by the way, guys, if you watch me regularly and you didn't realize this, I didn't stream today on All Minus One, and I'm probably not going to stream for the next, for the rest of the week, unless I do it here Sunday with Holly, because I'm going to be in DC with my wife. She's got a big meeting, and I got to be with her in case she goes into labor. So
yeah,
such is life, which means I don't have all of my equipment with me to do this. So, and I don't think my laptop can support a stream very well. It's too ancient. But again, we appreciate y'all being here, and we'll be back with Holly next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. This has been The Ends Justify the Memes, and remember, the ends always justify those memes. Tank's not here, so there's no Abby Shapiro today, guys.
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in. But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. Macho madness, yeah, it's got more to offer than President Jack Tunney thinks that I got. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. Cards stacked against the Macho Man Randy Savage in WrestleMania.